Hi guys, Ronda Winstead here with you. Hello, hello, hello. It is another amazingly gorgeous day outside. I hope you are doing well. I hope that you are happy. I hope that January is treating you well. It's hard for me to believe, you guys, that January is almost not January anymore. We've passed the half mark. That is just crazy. It seems like time is just it's just going by so fast. Okay, it's wonderful to be here. I did do quite a bit of pre-recording so that while I was kind of down and not feeling up to recording, that I could still put some things up. And so I hope that you have enjoyed that video series where I worked on Barbara, her of 49 Dragonflies, her amazing digitals. It was fun. So, what is going on today? All right. So, I thought I would try, I did not finish Rachel's or Roxy's Journal of Stitchery number 2, the Christmas one. I fully intended on finishing it, but I don't know, I just got stuck. Just got stuck, and I only finished, I think, like 3 blocks. But I put the whole project away. I'll pick it up at some point. And I have been giving a lot of thought to Down the Garden Path, Stitchery number 3, and I have come up with something, sort of, maybe. I don't know. But let's just check it out. I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. And in case you're like, what the heck, Rhonda, what are you doing? I'd be like, yeah, I know, right? Okay, let's zoom in for a minute. I want to show you. Okay, so let me work on the lighting. Oh, that's not, well, I don't know. Does that make it so you can see the color a little bit better? So I have a lot of bits and pieces here. I started out with, and let me just kind of bring this up. See all of the little teeny bits and pieces? Those are threads and little tiny cutoffs of fabric, just tiny little bits and pieces. It's the way that I do my, when I do my, when I have a whole bunch of extra threads and things and I make fabric, more fabric out of that, that's the method that I used here. And I will link below that process if you want to take a look at how I've done that so you can see. But I have covered, so I have the little teeny bits and pieces and I just put them on, just put them in various places. And I had planned on showing you how I did that, but my camera, the battery was dead, and so I had to let it charge up, and it was down, and so I needed to clear the desk, and so I did it already. Now, there is a little tiny film, little bit of netting that you can see here. And the netting is, well, let me grab it. Just one sec, my dears. And I hope you're having a great day, night, evening, whatever it is. Very filmy. So I just laid this over the top of my little bits and pieces to kind of hold them in. And normally what I would do then is to, go ahead and I could speak, I would say machine stitch, you know, all over randomly. But this is about, you know, using hand stitching. It's to be relaxing. It's, you know, it's not to hurry up and just get her done. Not that you can't do that if you want to. So I went ahead and covered that. And then she said, I glued with my glue stick, just my trusty little glue stick, nothing fancy, little bits of fabric, little squares and rectangle kind of dilly-whackers. Dilly-whackers. Okay. And just randomly place them on my background. So this is going to be my background for the wildflowers, which is the first prompt. Now, you might wonder about the fabric. It is just it's actually an old dish towel of definitely an old vintage dish towel that was created from feed sack. And I mean, we're talking real feed sack. This is real rust. This is real. I mean, it's clean, but it's very, you know, grungy. So I have created this. It's just the right size. Now let's go ahead and take that back out a little bit so you can see better. So I'm going to do mine, I think, this way. Not sure, but anyway. And I've got a bunch more, so I've just pinned that together so it won't get in my way while I'm working on this little bit here. And this was a wonderful find many, many years ago, actually. I used to go antiquing with a girlfriend of mine, and we would go places and find all kinds of interesting, weird junk. And one time I came across one of these spools, and I said, I don't know what I'm going to do with you, but you need to come home with me. And the spool said, why, yes, I do. Rhonda, we need to have a relationship. So there you go. So it's been sitting in my studio or wherever for many years. So this is a perfect opportunity. Isn't this fabulous? So anyway, that's the deal. So now what I want to do is to just start doing some stitching. And I have actually, this is difficult for me, guys. My hands don't work so well anymore. So I have a pink hand quilting thread, which is very, very sturdy, but it's very thin. It's not as thin as regular thread, but pretty close. So we just need a needle and we can start stitching. So my plan is to stitch this whole piece. And I thought, now I have this pink. I also have a yellow, a nice, you know, and these are both will be great for backgrounds. Won't show too much. And then I might do a cream, you know, or a white as well. But let's just get started here. And we'll just chat for a minute and then I'll put the video on pause while come on, fingers, work. I used to do this very, very easily all the time. Easily all the time. Isn't now, my dears. Okay. Tools of the trade. Do, 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 do. Rubber finger thimble. I am left-handed, and that's, I'm happy about that. So we are just going to start here, and I will go ahead and we'll put that back up a little bit so you can see a little bit better. I'm not sure that you're going to see the colors in this really so much, but I am just taking a running stitch. I did not cover all of my background fabric. When I'm making new fabric, and like I said, I'll have a video that you can see that, but you can see this is regular, the background fabric. I'm not trying to cover it all in this. When I'm making new fabric, I try to cover it all. But I thought, I don't know, I'm just doing something different. It might, it might be just totally weirdos, but I just thought it would be kind of fun. And my netting did not come up quite enough to cover the whole piece. My netting came to about here or so. But you really, I mean, if you didn't know there was netting on here, you would be, you wouldn't know there's netting on here. Oh, how's that for brilliant? It has been a long time, guys, since I have done a Rachel's or Roxy Journal of Stitchery, so this is super fun, and I plan on just kind of working on this. I'll take it in the living room for when hubby and I. So here's the deal. I may have shared this with you guys already, but in a normal day, when we don't have like a ton of appointments and doctors and different things that way, and I mean, this isn't an everyday kind of thing, but I will spend a good amount of time, usually in my studio, working, whether it's working in my, in my Etsy shop, whether it's doing a video, whether it's, doing family, whatever it might be, making for, I don't know, whatever. I spend a good deal of time in my shop or my studio. Okay, so that's not working for me already. Now, let's see. Let's do a couple of things. Let's repin that so it's closer. And then she said, let's do this. Okay. I think we'll just need to put a few pins in there, here and there, to keep that kind of toned down just a little bit. Okay. So this part is just a little bit tricky because I'm just trying to tack that down a smidgen. Now I'm not planning on, what am I not planning on? I'm not planning on having all of this tightly stitched on these ends, on either end, because I may want to tuck in some pieces, in the blending as it continues to grow either way. And there's a reason, the reason I just kind of started here was just to give myself room here for whatever. maybe a title, maybe a just, I don't know, maybe a few rolls on the spool before it actually shows. So anyway, I want to leave some looseness so that it will, I can blend it in. And as long as we're here doing that, why don't we just take a minute and let's go ahead and do some pinning just to keep it stable in some of these spots. I just want to make sure it's secured down there. Like there's that little tiny doohickey right there. Okay. All right, let's move that out of the way. And we will continue on just a little bit. And how do I want this to go? I don't know. I just feel like it's okay to just let it be random. Let it be, it doesn't have to be like specifically organized in how I'm doing it. Just stitching. Just stitching. So, what have you guys been working on? I have not been doing a whole lot. Trying to, rest up, I guess, from my treatments and whatnot. I go in next a week from Thursday. I go and have another treatment. And I will have, well, it hasn't been scheduled yet, but the doctor wants me to have another PET scan in, well, let's see, if I go in next 2 weeks after my next treatment. And then I'll see him in 3 weeks again, and then we'll see how the medication is doing. So far we're tolerating things pretty well. We're just tired. And I do, when I'm lying down off times, I will catch up on, I'll watch videos, YouTube videos from many wonderful creators. And I try not to feel too guilty. You know what? This is going to be a little bit of a problem, isn't it? Look at this. It's starting to floppy doppy on me. So, at least until we, what's that? Oh, and here we've got another little loosey-goosey. Until we get that all figured out, I think I better put another 2 or 3 pins, straight pins in there, just to kind of keep that held in place so it doesn't flop all around. Yeah, I just, I don't know how this is going to go, guys. I'm just trying something. It might work, or, worst case scenario, you'll never see the video. Worst case scenario, yeah, it'd just be like, oh, okay. Well, what did you do? I don't know. Nothing. So, one of the things that I do notice when I use the stick glue a little bit, I try not to do too much, but it does have a tendency to make the fabric a little bit harder. So you have to keep that in mind when you're going through the layers. And I've tried not to do too many layers because I don't want this thing to be like horribly bulky. but we'll see. Okay, so I think I'm going to need to tie off this thread. We'll just turn it to the back here. Do a couple of little naughty dotties. Oops, well, that came apart, so we'll just give it another little thing there, and we will trim that off. And then, of course, that will go in my box, or I have a little bag that I keep by my sewing machine. But see how rusty and how old this is? But it's fun. It's super cool. I'm having a good time with it. Okay, so I don't know if you can you tell the stitching, just the bare little whatever. So I'm going to put this on pause. I'm going to continue stitching down. I probably won't stitch everything because that's going to take me a while, but I'll stitch quite a bit and then I'll come back and show you what I've done. And that will be the beginning of my Journal of Stitchery, number 3, Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. Exciting stuff. And thank you, Rach and Sarah, for your amazing videos. Love you, gals. Okay, so let's put it on pause. Don't go away. Okay, I have done, I think, enough for this particular video to show you my stitching. You can see that, well, I'm not quite halfway, but if we turn it over, you can see the lines in the stitching. I have pink thread and yellow thread, and I've used a variegated blue so far. So we'll see what other threads I might want to use. But I think I'm going to call that good for this particular video. Yeah, so let there be light, and there is light. Oh. All right, guys, it's wonderful to be with you, and I hope that you continue to have an amazing day, whatever you choose to do. I love you guys, and we will see you soon, hopefully. Bye. Love you.